Hello and welcome to the show. It's Rose-Colored Classist, a topical news comedy podcast. And if gas hits $7, I am going to drive into the ocean. I'm going to drive into the ocean and get the oil myself. Okay, I will take control of an oil refinery, beat up all the workers, threaten everybody, go up to John Malkovich and fucking Marky Mark and tell him, this shit is mine, okay? I will get on top of that oil refinery on the beautiful California coast, grab a bucket, and send it straight directly to my Subaru Outback. Oh, God. It's episode 82. And these oil prices got me in deep water. I do not see a horizon, okay? It's blowing up. It's all going to blow up. And you should help this podcast blow up, no matter how bad it is for the environment. All right? Like, comment, subscribe. Like me. You're going to have to, because we are piling in for the Iran war. All right? There's people out there who spoke out against it and are now for it. And how's it going to go? They have their fingers crossed. I guess, then and now. Yeah, it's crazy. People predicted this, and now it's happening. Wonder what that's about. Yeah, we are climbing the escalation ladder. And you have to climb it. It's a ladder. Now, how are you going to call something a ladder and then not climb it? All right, what are you talking about? All right, we are climbing the escalation ladder and getting hung up on the rungs. Okay? And if we ever get to where this ladder leads, what are we going to do then? Jump? Because if I climbed a ladder right now, that's what I would do. I would jump. Fuck. Oh man. Yeah, Jesus Christ. I'm so exasperated. I'm so fucked. I mean, sure. We have our opinions here in the United States about the Iran war, but you really wonder what those Middle Eastern monarchs are saying to themselves right now. You think they're blaming us? You hope they would blame Iran, but I feel like they might be blaming us. It's pretty bad if they blame us and not Iran. Now, this is what I hope is going on over there. I hope I hope some Gulf state citizen is standing out there and he's looking at Iran blow up all the oil fields, and he says to himself, Shiite. Yeah, those Gulf states with their Sunni dispositions. Those jokes are dumb, but it's the only thing I have right now, okay? These jokes are so dumb because what else is dumb? Right. No, I can only blame Iran right now. Actually, I've gotten word as a Westerner that I can only blame Iran for what's going on, okay? Blaming us? Blaming Israel and us? Yeah, I don't think that's going to make my government stop doing it. I think me complaining about them and blaming them for everything is actually just pissing them off. Pissing us off. It's real. Really, Iran needs to stop fighting immediately. Iran needs to stop. Yes, those guys. Not us, them. Okay? The Iranians are ruining oil prices. They're the ones doing it. Okay? Yeah, and they're destroying innocent American lives. All right? They're the ones destroying innocent lives right now. Okay? Yeah, gas is at $6 and they're destroying all of our innocent American lives. Holy Shiite. Fuck. Dude, hey, man. Hey, dude, just fucking gas at $7. Just send in the ground troops. All right? That's my logic. I'm there. I'm with it. We're all in, everybody. Okay? Call the floor. We're in the pit, boss. Gas is hitting $7 and we cannot fold. There's no getting out. Pot committed, baby. Yeah, no, just fucking go for it. Go for it. Spend money we don't have on weapons we probably didn't need to use. All right? Inflate the currency and get the oil cheaper, which is now technically more expensive because you Look, I'm lost at this point, but cheaper gas. That's what it's about. That's the only thing that matters. Gas prices, okay? It's the only thing that matters in the United States, okay? Yeah, I mean, we attacked Iran, so what? They never have a nuclear weapon? Gas at $7 is my nuclear Armageddon, okay? I would rather burn alive because of some fucking missile than pay $7 for gas. All right? Dude, if gas gets to $7, I'm pretty sure that's my Holocaust. All right? I'm pretty sure, like, fucking, I will go underneath the floorboards. I will hide. No one will ever see me again. I'll go to the camps. Going to the camps is probably going to be better than paying $7 gas. They're persecuting me, actually. I feel personally persecuted, okay? Because I'm done. I'm finished. This is not a joke. I am completely fucking smoked. All right? You know, I'm here doing the pod, stand up, whatever. But, you know, for the last 2 years, I have been building my process serving business. You know, that thing Seth Rogen does in Pineapple Express. All right. And gas is like my only expense. And I'm ruined. I am completely ruined. They ruined me. The Iran war is ruining my small business. I mean it. Look, dude, I'm like fucking, it's like everything I've built, they're taken down in fucking one fell swoop. Fuck, dude. Yeah, dude, when did we blow up all the oil fields in the Middle East? It's about like 3 weeks ago now, right? It's been about 3 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks. I would have already died from the radiation poisoning from a nuclear blast, okay? I'd be sitting in some fucking, you know, bed, just slowly sloughing off my skin like episode 4 of Chernobyl. Yeah, that would be nice. That would be preferable than what's going on right now. Dying of radiation sickness would be preferable to paying $7 for gas. Okay? I mean, what the hell is going on? What the hell is going on? Gas is the only thing I care about, actually. I mean, hey, you want to fire missiles? Shoot guns? Bring the Messiah back? Whatever. Sounds like fun. But give me cheap gas. All right? You get the Messiah. I get cheap gas. That's the deal. All right? I swear, dude, if they don't give me cheap energy prices, I will totally, I'll do something. I'll do something, okay? I'll do something. What am I going to do? I'm going to go into the ocean and get the oil myself. That's what I'll do. I'll dive into the well. Yeah, jump on that crane, get my trusty fucking bucket, get the oil myself. Christ, dude. Oh my God. I mean, you know, you're looking at the future, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, looking at the future, if I guess, you know, if 2 months from now, you know, gas is at $2.50, well, 4 months really at the minimum, probably 6 actually. I hear a year for fucking Dubai and Qatar and their fucking stuff to rebuild the infrastructure. Okay, but if gas ends up in California at $2.50, all right, maybe it'll be worth it. But you can trust me, all right? I will be plugging and chugging those fucking numbers, and I will tell you if it's worth it, okay? I will only say this war is worth it until I become personally net dollar positive, all right? That's a promise. It's only about the money for me, all right? It's only about the money. Wait, hold on. I am supposed to care about the dead soldiers, the dead American soldiers. I am supposed to care about those guys. Sorry, I forgot to do that. Maybe I was supposed to care about all the other dead people too that live in the countries I respect and believe should exist. Okay, so this is what I'll do. I'm gonna work it out. Okay, I will take I'll take the tax money spent on the war. All right. And I will add it to the loss of potential economic output of every dead person. Okay, and I will square that. I will square the value of the dead person if it's an American or Israeli. All right, and I'll take that, and I'll add it to the deflation effect of any new money we printed. Okay, and then I'll multiply that by the probability of the risk of this all happening over again. Probability. It's a big thing in math if you don't know. Okay, and then I'll take that and I'll divide it with the overall percentage of the price increases week over week in real dollars. Okay, and if that number is more than how much we spent, then I'll know if it was worth it. Did you guys write that formula down? Did you guys do that? No. You know what? Actually, I'll get an AI to calculate it. AI, come on, bring it up. All right. Here's my formula. I'm a genius. Call me Einstein. Hold me to this. If you see this formula, look at all the definitions of the variables, all right, and know what I'm talking about, okay? Every podcaster out there is talking about how their predictions come true eventually, and this is mine. I am predicting this. Check out my math problem. It's a prediction. Dude, I'm so smart. Someone get me on the tariff issue. I'm a genius. Yeah, talk about funny math, right? We are all doing funny math here in America, trying to fucking, evaluate our particular circumstance. Yeah, I don't know if you guys were, paying attention to old Donnie T talking out there. And he said a lot of things since my last podcast. Probably the point. Hard to keep track of all of it. And Trump, he said the oddest thing. He was talking about how America benefits from oil price increases. Something we're a net exporter, so actually we make a lot of money when the oil price increases. But, we really got to key into that particular language he's using. Because, look, this is back to, like, the old, Bernie problem. Okay, the populist problem. Yeah, okay, you think about higher oil prices, right? And yes, they benefit the oil companies, which benefits GDP. And, if those companies paid taxes, you could assume that it would help the American government. But who and what group is not included in that particular equation? Are you looking in the mirror? It's the consumer. All right, the consumer, in whatever way I understand it, are not being included in these possible benefits. All right, in fact, the American consumer are one of the reasons it is so beneficial. All right, the consumers are the fucking ones buying the oil at the higher price, which is the fucking what you're talking about, the benefit you're talking about. All right, I am not being included in this market bump, and I'm fucking pissed off about it. All right, in fact, I am the one suffering because of it. I'm the one paying here. It's me. Holy shit, dude, I am the reason you guys have all the tax money in the fucking first place. The more oil money, all right? Jesus. I mean, how often and how many times does the American consumer got to get fucked? How many times we got to get fucked to the direct benefit of others? All right, even in my own country. Jesus, makes you think, fucking Christ. I heard from whatever government organizations out there right now that absolutely no jobs were created in the economy the last 6 months. 0 jobs were created. I mean, fuck, what? I guess we do need the draft. All right? I guess we do need the draft. We got to get these motherfuckers working. Jesus. Can't believe it. Man, Trump, dude, going through this war. Crazy, dude. Crazy, I mean, hard to believe it. We're all just fucking working our way trying to believe it. But I don't know. I guess it was pretty predictable, right? Didn't everyone predict this clusterfuck from happening? We've been predicting it for fucking 30 fucking years. I mean, at this point, it does seem like we were destined to do it anyway, right? The fucking, religious zealots, occultic tyrants, those who hide behind the neocon label, hide behind a, particular Middle East ethno-state. I mean, sure, I think, yeah, probably would have happened under any president. But this president in particular, kind of, really just digging in the knife. I mean, I don't know. Kamala, yeah, she would have done it. Anybody would have fucking done it. This has been coming down the pike for a fucking minute. All right, it is an important part of the plan. This current trajectory we're on, this obvious fucking trajectory, you look at the whole picture, fucking, AI, crypto, robotic advancement, the fucking Messiah coming back, fantastic, right? We have what? We have population collapse, fertility collapse, the fucked up young and old demographics, right? We're here for the World War, man. We're here for it. World War III. We're doing it. We are in World War III, whether we like it or not. Say it to anybody or not. America, at least, is. We're fighting in Venezuela. Venezuela. I can never say that fucking country's name. We're fucking destroying Cuba, starving it to death. Got war in Ukraine, war in Iran, Taiwan looking fucking like it's about to be included in the plan. Yeah, I mean, and that's the world. That's all of it. Congratulations, everybody. The thing we were trying to prevent for the last 80 fucking years? We're doing it. We're totally doing it. Let's do it, baby. Let's fucking go. Who's pumped? Who's excited? I mean, thank God I never paid attention in school, because I swear, dude, if I read one history book, I'd probably be pretty mad about what's going on right now. No, I'd be real confused. Well, why are we doing any of this shit? I read a book once. I mean, even if I only read those fucking, propagandized Robert Maxwell books, I'd probably still be, a little lost at sea, trying to figure out how we got here. Which does remind me, and, I should say it, if you're out here, like, trying to figure out where the front is of the war, where your attention should be focused, let me tell you, the war, it's everywhere. All right? The war is in your heart. Okay? It's on your phone. It's in the streets. Dude, we're here in the forever war. All right? We're doing war forever, and it's intentional. Maybe everything from the beginning of time has been war. All right? I mean, you think about the kinds of things you promote, and protest, the real sources of the issues you're focused on. All right? And you don't need fucking, 3 million Epstein files to figure out that the same people who are ruining your personal life are the same people starting the wars. All right? No matter which nation state you live in. Yeah, some commentators in America who don't have as much fun as I do, they will say we are an occupied nation, and then they name a particular foreign government that does it. And have I ever agreed with that? Doubt it. Don't think so. What I want to say is, when you're focusing on the occupation of the nation, all right, it's a lot more than Palantir being in fucking government software. All right, it's more than the political action committee, politicians in the fucking pocket. All right, we are occupied by everything. Every object that is out there is intentionally trying to occupy your time and attention. You go outside, you have fucking, 15 problems to solve before you can even try and touch some crooked politician, some fucked up techie trying to gather all your info. We are occupied in our hearts and minds. All right? And it ain't no nation state, ain't no particular person. It is some fucking eternal, unfathomable, psychological operation that goes back to, basic human instinct. All right, we have created a world ever since the beginning of civilization that makes you spend time fighting ghosts, boxing shadows, and instead of tackling the problems outside, you're forced to tackle the ones inside. You are occupied by your true desires that have been orchestrated for you. And then they put things in place to prevent you from getting them. Makes me think, I have been spending a lot of time lately trying to get laid, and sure, I'm out there trying to find a girl who wants to have a bunch of children so we can train them as soldiers against, possible future tyranny. So, in a way you could spend, I'm spending my time wisely, going for, what really matters. But I think about it, and there have been 1,000 obstacles placed in front of me, all right, that I have to remove one by one to try and fulfill this particular desire of mine, all right? And as I position myself and my loved ones for, eventual combat, I think about it, and even if I do find some nice, beautiful woman to spend the rest of my life with and breed children to fight the government, they might have her die in a suicide bombing in Syria. Which brings me to the director of counterterrorism resigning in protest. Now, you know the man, Joe Kent. Now there's no Kent. Get bent for Joe Kent. He's done the rounds. It's been a week or so since he resigned, and I've watched all the interviews. Hopefully, my opinion can reflect that. And I know Joe is like old news at this point, but hey, I am the rose-colored classist. And the fact is, I have trouble putting out this podcast in a timely fashion. Yeah, it's fucking 4:50 on a Tuesday. 3:24. What a fucking bore. So baby, let's get this show started. As if I haven't already. Let's get this cornbread white boy fucking yipping and yapping and try to get his licks in.
Go through the letter that you sent yesterday as you resigned as director of the National Counterterrorism Center, and basically through the big points and give you a chance to explain them. You've been spoken for quite a bit over the last 24 hours, so I think it'd be really helpful to all of us if you would speak for yourself and flesh out some of these points. I'm just going to read the first one. I cannot in good conscience support the ongoing war in Iran. Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation. Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation. How did you reach that conclusion?
I think this is key. I mean, this would be more challenging to explain had the Secretary of State, the President, and the Speaker of the House not come out and said that we conducted this attack at this time because the Israelis were about to do so. So that takes away the argument that there was an imminent threat, as in Iran was planning to attack us immediately. That just simply did not exist.
May I ask you to pause? Sure. And so I've heard people say that, and this just happened, but history has a way of getting rewritten in real time, and then you look back 10 or 15, 20, 25 years later, and no one seems to understand the things that you saw because they've been eliminated. Yeah. So I think it's important to stop and say, here's what we actually know. So I'd like now, if we could, just to play one of the statements that you alluded to, and that's from Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State. He reasons it out. He explains there's a logic chain there, and he says, we knew not that Iran was going to attack. He did not say that.
Right.
He said we knew that Israel was going to attack Iran, and in retaliation for those attacks by Israel against Iran, Iran might attack American forces. So the imminent threat that the Secretary of State is describing is not from Iran, it's from Israel.
Exactly. And I think this speaks to the broader issue. Who is in charge of our policy in the Middle East?
These waspy motherfuckers. Now, Tucker, Joe, with the help of Marco Rubio, they lay out a particular story with a type of logic. And when you think about it, they both need to be arrested. Silence them! Silence them! Get them! Arrest them! Arrest them now! Oh, we're gonna get you. Oh, somebody gotta get you. Please, arrest them for making me fucking sad as fuck, huh? Arrest them for that. I mean, come on, shut up, Joe. Joe, what the fuck do you know, huh? You blow, Joe. I'm just gonna say things that rhyme with your name. Yeah, so what? So what, you were deployed 11 times? You got a bunch of awards? I mean, look, Joe only has this opinion because his wife died. Murdered. What a fucking queer. This biased queer. Actually, if he was a real soldier, he would be happy that his wife died under enemy fire. Most soldiers would be happy if their wife died. All right, at least they can't cheat on him now. Yeah, file divorce papers when you're riddled with bullets. No, this is awful. What am I doing here? Not even funny. I'm not even being funny. Not even showing a real understanding of the situation. Right, he has his opinion. Maybe I agree with it. And this kind of guy, I mean, we all like to think that the intel agencies are, filled up with them. It's nice to see at least one of them exists. And he happens to be resigning. But look, this guy, he's been on the forefront of sacrifice. Maybe we should listen to him when it comes to all this war stuff. All right, what are we doing now? We're listening to Lindsey Graham? All right? I disagree with Lindsey on principle, all right? This guy, Lindsey, could say water is wet, and I would be trying to tell everyone how it's dry. But fucking, Joe, this is part of that military sheen that is so appealing sometimes to politicians. Like Dan Crenshaw had that nice sheen, all right? That nice sheen where, maybe he knows what he's doing. And turns out he only knows what he's doing on Wall Street. But, Joe Schmo here, Kent, more like Kant, what a philosopher. A philosopher with a chin of stone. Philosopher King. I mean Kent. No, this guy, he's interesting because evidently he's like Trump classic. He's like the first round of Trump we had that everyone remembers so fondly, I guess. He talks good about all those previous attacks and strikes Trump made. Even now, still tries to talk good about the president. And evidently he has a big problem with Nick Fuentes. Something to do with his congressional runs, actually, that Trump has been shitting on over on the tarmac. Yeah, this guy, he runs for Congress, doesn't do it, and then comes up and gets a big job. And, now he's against Trump. Yeah, finally. Finally, yeah, because Trump finally crossed Joe Kent's line when he's crossed so many other ones before. It's so funny. I don't mean to be a California libby here, a libtard, but watching these people slowly stop believing in Trump, it is just the funniest thing ever. It is just hard to talk nice about him, and we're all pitted with the decision. Back in 2024, but Trump, he's crossed like fucking 800 lines, and now he's crossed this one, and it's just hilarious. It's just hilarious, I guess we can blame the Democrats for being what is that famous story about wolves and boys and crying? Yeah, geez. I guess this is what politics is really about. Trying to remain within everyone's particular tolerance. But I'm looking around, seeing all the people, stop supporting Trump, and as an indication of Trump's overall support, it seems like you lose a guy like this, and fucking who's left? who could be possibly left supporting Trump and whatever the fuck he's doing out there? I mean, he's lost Green. He's lost Jones, Fuentes. I mean, just taking it as a representative sample, pretty sure the president's fucked. Pretty sure he's fucked. Yeah, Dave Smith, turned again. Theo Vaughn, turned. Joe Rogan, turned. Flagrant, fuming. I mean, dude, all he has left are the neocons. The people who never liked him in the first place. The people he stole the party from in the first place. So, I don't know. Here it goes. Back on the seesaw of voting. I can't wait for the Democrats to take power. Joe Kent. Joe, are you going to run again? Maybe everyone will be different this time. Maybe everyone will be different. Yeah, they won't be influenced by money. And who else? Yeah, they'll never go to another pizza party again. The candidates. We'll talk about them soon, but I would just like to take a minute personally, because that's who I do this podcast for, me. If you're a listener, get out of here. Don't even like you. I do this for me. I'm going to cut that out. No, I'm not. I cut other things out. What am I doing here? I'm fun. Just let's have fun, okay? And I want to have fun by talking about, that particular maximalist lobby, the one that pretends to represent all people of a particular ethnicity, who maybe has a lot of influence on American foreign policy. Israelis, they have a lot of input on our policy in the Middle East. Okay, I'll say it. But you want to go and say they control us, and it's really, I mean, come on, this is what we get for being somewhere that we have no fucking clue how it works. And we've been saying that for a long time, all right? Are we really that stupid to listen to Israelis? We're Americans. We don't live there. We wouldn't want to live there. Americans, by and large, from even clearly the politicians, they don't know anything about the Middle East. They never learn about it. And then, all of a sudden you hit fucking, 20 years in the game and you realize, oh no, I fucked up. I should have been paying attention to this the whole time. Yeah, we just get caught in this place that we have no fucking clue about. And by doing that, we put ourselves in a position to be led by the nose, by the people who know more. That is a very clever racist joke. Hold on. I mean, Americans. I mean, we're only there because of World War II. Why do we even want to be there? We don't want to be there. The Israelis wanted to be there. So we was like, okay, if you guys want to be there so bad, we'll make an agreement. You be the foothold, the stronghold, and sure, we'll control the fucking world. Fuck those barbarian Muslims. They're losers, and we're going to run this place. But only because you're there. All right, I think that was the idea, right? I mean, look, I've been studying up. I've been trying to learn. I mean, what the fuck has been happening? I don't know. I mean, maybe my resources are biased, but it seems like our whole presence in the Middle East has been like, a fucking total shit show. We're just there trying to, figure it out, standing there going, do you know anything, Israelis? Do you know anything about what's going on here? Because I am lost. I mean, have we ever done the right thing in any of those places? Has anything ever gone good? God, Iraq this, Afghanistan that. I don't think it was going that good in the 70s or the 80s, in the 50s either, really. I mean, Americans, we know jack shit about that place or the people. We never did. We never will. Okay, I mean, every one of us just looks at the fucking desert and go, why do they live there? Why are they? Just move. What's going on? We don't know anything about how it even works. All right, I just learned about desalination. I didn't even know you could do that. I didn't even know you could take salt water and make it drinkable. My whole childhood was about learning about how if I was, caught on a raft, not to drink the ocean. But I mean, the place is fucked. What are we even doing? Yeah, look, I guess, the only thing, supposedly what we're doing is oil, right? Like, yeah, we like oil a lot as Americans. We love it. Yummy oil. And, we want to get it. We want to get all of it. We're like little leprechauns in gold. We just want the oil. And all of a sudden, the Israelis come there and they're over there for their own reasons. And they go, oh, hey, America, we have this big idea about how to get you more oil. And Americans just sitting there, our fucking slick back, slippery selves. And we just go ahead and do it. We don't care. Oh, yeah, we're the only ones who can drop big bomb. So we make sure nobody gets big bomb. Around big bomb, oil, whatever. I want the oil. I don't care what it does. I don't care what happens. Yeah, what the fuck are we thinking? Oh, man, it's so crazy. I don't believe any American knows anything about that place, and we probably should get out. Or just, chill and realize we're not the fucking experts. But, Israelis there, Americans think we can use them to get an advantage, I guess. I don't know, geopolitical. And, if you've been listening to this podcast, I don't always see things in the basic geopolitical. I don't always look at these issues in a clear view of resource accurement or even anti-nuclear proliferation, regular old hegemony. And those issues are important. I like talking about them. They are important to know, or at least express yourself in. Because you want to be able to articulate yourself to, the uninitiated. You want to sound normal sometimes to somebody, okay? But what my angle is, I feel like you can go through all these types of reasoning, regular old geopolitical reasoning, and eventually you kind of just hit a wall. You look at all the death and destruction and risk and possible reward and definite uncertainty. And you add it all up, and sometimes, most of the time, doesn't seem like anything that we do could be justified. I mean, you look at regular world dynamics, and what happens there kind of just doesn't make enough sense. Most of the time, it just doesn't make enough sense. And here's my attempt to make it make sense. All right? Yes. All right, here it is. Rose-colored classist. My name is Kyle Roderick Gridley. I'm a comedian, process server, community college educated, Christian high school graduated, And here it is. Okay, personally, after combining all possible facts from various subjects and disciplines, I believe that we are in the Middle East because occultic ancient bloodlines who communicate with evil interdimensional space entities desire ancient knowledge and technology, which exists in ruins and UFO artifacts scattered throughout the Middle East. Okay? The Middle East is a treasure trove of practically omnipotent, interdimensional, ancient, alien, space god technology and knowledge. All right? And it's been there for a long time. Okay? So when we go to the Middle East, it's because the occult, who manipulate the world under the guise of geopolitical Machiavellian reasoning, are instructed to do so. Okay? And what they're instructed to do is create a portal to a demonic realm of power so they can live forever. That's what I believe. And sure, let's talk about the government more. The intel agencies, maybe. The intel agencies are the ones connected to this shit. Right? Because Joe, Kent, bringing him back, he is a member of the intel community. And the intel community, what a group. what a bunch of guys. And I just found out about Joe Kent's particular position. Didn't even know like a whole wing of counterterrorism was a thing. And yeah, you have counterterrorism, and then you have what? The FBI, the CIA, the NSA, DHS, ATF, and on and on and on. Actually, I think there's like 30 different intel agencies. And, when you look at a guy like Kent deciding not to be part of, the most powerful infrastructure ever created in the history of mankind, it's a powerful statement. Saying that this guy was shut out. I mean, it's interesting. They say they couldn't even talk to the president anymore. They iced him out. People surrounded the president and iced him out. And it reminds me of something I think I talked about a couple times in the episodes in the 30s. It's like the relationship between the intel agencies and the president. Like, what is that relationship supposed to be anyway? Obviously, it's fucked, but what is, like, the ideal? I think, again, I'm out there listening to audiobooks, trying to be smart, and, you go back, the church committee, pre-JFK, and the understanding of these agencies was that they worked under the president. They worked for him. They did what the president wanted them to do. I mean, we don't think that anymore. Something Dallas. Something Butler, Pennsylvania. But supposedly that's how it works. All right, the president, he picks the heads of the agencies, and then, bingo bango, they do what the president says. That was the understanding. But as we move forward and realize that they actually, have more power over the president, I think it comes from this idea of independence. We were talking about in like 2008 a lot. The Obama years, George Bush at the end, about how the intel agencies and all agencies under the president are supposed to be independent. I mean, yeah, the president picks the person, but then after they pick the person, the president can't make them do anything, right? Like, he can only ask them to do something. That they're unbiased, uncorrupted. Something 2017 Trump, right? Yeah, the independent intel agencies. At some point, and again, maybe it was after Dallas, there was a deliberate decision to create a barrier between them and the president. A barrier between the president and his own powers. Yeah, and they did it so the president wouldn't have undue influence over them, all right? So it doesn't seem like the president is directly telling them to do things in his own advantage. And, I'll just say it. I'm convinced. Yeah, I'm convinced. I believe the intel agencies are independent, absolutely independent. I barely think the president has anything to do with them. All right, he might just do what they say. All right, what a concept. And I'll get to Trump's relationship with them now, but I think they pushed for that independence under like the guise that it would protect the nation if the president happened to be a corrupt piece of shit. But I think what we really did, is just let them work for themselves. And if you're one of the most powerful organizations ever, you're probably just gonna work for the most powerful people ever, right? A la Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah, it turns out, trusting these guys to uphold the Constitution may not have been the smartest thing to do. Yeah, be independent, but serve the Constitution. That'll work out. We're so smart. Yeah, an oath. Yeah, an oath wasn't as foolproof as we thought. Yeah, maybe we thought, taking a guy, having him put his hand on a book and promise. We all thought that would be enough. You just look at him and go, no fibbing, no fibbing. Just don't stop crossing your fingers, right? Promise you'll be a good boy. Promise. These guys, I swear, these intel agencies, they're like my Dalmatian when I ask him not to eat almond butter I left on the fucking table. All right, these guys, they're like a scorpion on a turtle. All right, these types of people, they're down to get dirty, down to fucking be crazy, and I don't think we ever should have, had them make promises in the first place. Part of their job is to break promises. You left them to the promises, they're fucking killers, dude. Yeah, the president should be clearly like coercing and bargaining with these people and not just fucking, doing what they say. I mean, it is curious. Trump seems to be in lockstep with these guys. And that helps the illusion that, Trump is in charge. But was he? Did he? I don't know. You ever see when the president was swearing in in office in 2025? The guy didn't even have his hand on the Bible. Didn't even have his hand on it. Yeah, that went by the news cycle quick. Yeah, he had his hand raised though. Wonder what he was doing with that. Fucking probably worshiping Baphomet. Yeah, raise your right hand. Now do this with your fingers. Do this. Yeah, I mean the intel agencies, they pretend they work for the president. And yeah, man, they're all in lockstep now. But except Joe Kent, who's going to be locked up in a sec. Yeah, again, if Trump wasn't just doing everything they say, I'm pretty sure we'd be hearing about the independent DOJ. Really do. It is so interesting, Trump getting in there, and we expected him to fucking fight or battle this. I mean, he was the billionaire, right? He was the big billionaire who's going to do it. And now there's just no daylight. There's just no daylight, which I guess is a huge turn from the first term. Yeah, the first term he was fighting his own DOJ, fighting his own agencies. At that time, they were doing the independents pretty hard, fucking investigating the fuck out of them. And now we're here. We got here. And they obviously got this guy in line. The intel agencies got Donnie T in line. Seriously, I do not believe for a second that this country is following Donald Trump's vision. All right, I don't think his vision goes, far past him making a buck. But holy fuck, I think this is it. I mean, here I go again with the crazy. I believe the intel agencies are in control of everything. Okay, they got the military. They are the military. They're in the fucking media, in the government, the schools. All right, they're in the occult. Actually, they are the occult, and the occult stretches across the world in multiple governments and multiple agencies, just over and over again, group after group. And whatever we see now are like probably petty family squabbles, and they present them to us. All right, we get Donnie T, TV sensation, all right, presenting the elite problems to us. Yeah, we are definitely at the behest of something hidden, okay? Because on the surface of whatever, military excursion this is, it just makes no sense. Makes no sense. All right, on the surface, to air missile, this is blowing up, man. I swear, Israel had other options. USA had other options. Okay, you tell me Midnight Hammer wasn't enough? I don't get it. Okay, there obviously has to be some other goal that I am keenly unaware of. All right, because what I see happening doesn't fucking make too much sense. All right, I've been going crazy, but I got to bring more of Joe Kent on. This guy, he's so good looking, right? So good looking. He got married so quick. All the ladies love him. Yeah, Joe Kent. I guess the guy who wasn't in the club doesn't even know about it. I love to hear Joe talk about the occult, and this clip I'm about to play, I guess gets the closest to it. Let's watch him talk about Charlie Kirk. Yeah, man, he's the window into the intel world, and his particular account does not feel good.
I want to turn a little bit to some comments you made with Tucker Carlson. You made some very ominous comments about the Butler assassination attempt and about Charlie Kirk's assassination. And I want to be super clear. Like, do you think that there was foreign involvement in the Charlie Kirk assassination?
The only thing that I will say for certain is that we did not get an opportunity to fully investigate the potential for foreign links. I'm not saying foreign governments, but I'm saying foreign links. That was NCTC's role. And I think just even a casual observer of the Charlie Kirk case will say, hey, like I know we got the guy that has his fingerprints on the gun, so it sounds like it's a slam dunk case, but most people, they know that there was folks posting online ahead of time that like Charlie Kirk's going to die at UVU on this specific date. And so it seems that the investigation is complete. What I can tell you from our vantage point, from what NCTC's function was supposed to be, was investigating foreign links. And without getting into too many details, I can just say we didn't get the opportunity to fully run down every lead with foreign links. I'm not implicating any government. I'm not implicating any people. I'm just saying we were stopped from finishing our job.
Okay. And then tying that in back to the Iran question, clearly, look, I do frankly think there's been a lot of conspiracy stuff out there. However, as you testified to in your Tucker interview, Charlie was a very vocal voice behind the scenes against the war with Iran. And what I'm trying to square is why exactly that this assassination has become almost like fan fiction, in a really disgusting and grotesque way, in my opinion. However, when somebody so credible like you, who is in charge of potential exploring foreign links, I have to take that very, very seriously. So, do you remain like committed to this? I guess committed to an anger or a frustration that you weren't allowed to do so? And do you think that had a potential impact on the current situation that we're in?
Look, Charlie was one of the most vocal advocates that had access to the president from the outside against going to war with Iran. And at some point, we have to look at like the bigger picture.
All right, don't worry, guys. The counterterrorism director was only told to stop investigating. That's fine. It's totally fine when people are told to stop investigating. I mean, the last time someone was told to stop investigating, it was only an investigation about a worldwide child trafficking empire involving the most powerful people on Earth. Yep. That's the only other time. It's so interesting. No one ever seems to try and stop an investigation that actually leads nowhere. Like no one's trying to stop an investigation about, which oven cleaner truly performs the best. Or, how many fucking layers of spray tan that Real Housewife actually puts on. They're always trying to stop the investigation about the child trafficking ring. All right. The high-profile assassination. Maybe where the drugs come from. Yeah, dude. Totally. We are free to investigate which flavor of the new protein soda pops are the best. But more than that, probably not. Yeah, man. Yeah, fucking back to this legendary quote by my favorite UFO whistleblower, Matthew Brown, who was recently back on those alien podcasts. One of them is called Weaponized. I hope to cover it next week because, I'm talking crazy here all the time and gotta give you some background. But the quote, here in America, we have freedom of speech, but we do not have freedom of inquiry. Can't investigate more. Couldn't do it. couldn't do it if we tried. If you did try and investigate, you'd probably learn that everyone in the government are occultists worshiping Baphomet on the hunt for ancient pre-flood technology or knowledge on how to create it. That's what would happen if you were continued to investigate. And Joe Kent, I wonder what he really fucking knows. So interesting. Yeah, we are talking pretty conspiratorial. That's for sure. Out here on the Topical News Comedy Podcast. Can't help but sound crazy. And Sagar, don't we love that guy? I mean, I'm smoking weed right there on camera. I'm sure he hates me. He probably thinks this podcast sucks, and it would be better if I didn't smoke. And does he have a point? Yeah, sure does. But he does come around at the end. He does sort of like give a little, caveat about what he's saying. But, his point is that it's disgusting that a lot of what we talk about nowadays, especially regarding, the Charlie Kirk assassination, it's fan fiction. He calls it fan fiction. What an insult. I mean, I'm glad he, tempers himself at the end, but I'm still pretty offended. I mean, come on, Sagar. Dude, how is thinking that Erica Kirk was one of Jeffrey Epstein's bottom bitches contracted by the CIA and Mossad, who's totally mind-fucked by MK Ultra, and was put out to marry and reproduce with Charlie Kirk, an exceptional Operation Mockingbird asset, who seems to have been groomed to be a numerological Freemasonic sacrifice in public to the practically omnipotent interdimensional ancient alien space gods, who are probably evil. How is that a work of fan fiction? Seriously. How is that even... Does that even sound crazy? No. I mean, I'm a comedian. This is not fan fiction. It's a joke. Totally a joke. I am a comedian. I'm hiding behind that. And just to make my final personal point about these intel agencies, I think someone's trying to throw tear gas in here. Hold on. No, we're good. Okay. That's just the smoke from my weed. If I were to say this, what we really need when we, I talk about some group, what we really need is as definitions for possible players in the game. Like we got to name these pieces on whatever chessboard the occultic elites are playing on. Now, and if I were to, group them up like black and white, I would obviously say on one side, all right, it's the, occultic, the religious fanatics, call them ideologues, whatever, the type of people who are, spurned on by the apocalypse, believes in the Crusades, whatever. And then the other color, can't remember which one I said first, the other color is, the sweet princes, the geopolitical, the regular old people who do things for money. Remember that? Remember those people? They just do things for money, resources, and power, and they just want it just for the sake of having it. The regular old psychopath. And as we identify, these people, these pieces, and, whatever beliefs they have, I do think we need to figure out a future for them. I don't know if we can ever get rid of them. All right, past Trump, even, if we all survive, okay, I feel like we got to interview these guys individually, find out their alignment, how they order things, and maybe give them something to do. All right, I do not really believe we'll be able to defeat these people in like a classic type of combat in some awkward democratic process. But, when we work to co-opt these people, work with them, we definitely need to offer a vision that's acceptable to them. All right, they're the type of guys who, want to shape events, be historical, bring about the demon portal, and we may not be able to stop that. But if we out them, make it clear their intentions, well, then, maybe we can actually figure out the game we're really playing here. All right, and begin to move pieces in ways that, they only want to be moved. All right. I do feel like we can offer the dangerous psychopaths a world where they can, accumulate power and influence, experience whatever, perverted pleasure in a productive way. I think we can. I believe in that. All right. I think we can offer the zealots who desire to sacrifice children a world where their occultic desires are satisfied. All right. We all want to live our lives in peace and at a high level of comfort. Okay. We all want to create art and spread about the universe. So my idea is that we take these guys and send them into space. They don't die, but we give them everything they can so they can go do whatever they want in space. Yeah. But the Earth is the battlefield, right? They all want the Earth. The Earth's so cool, I guess. Yeah, the truth about Epstein and UFOs and the nature of power and the people in charge. But I really think we can offer them a world where they're still in charge, but at least we all know the truth. All right? And something I want to know the truth about is what is up with all these missing and murdered UFO people. All right? I've been talking crazy. I guess I had a little more alien shit than I thought. But I want to read some articles about these fucking missing UFO physics experts. And, I'm gonna really start extrapolating. All right, give me the truth, baby. I am so fucking scared reading this story. All right, basically, here it is. A chilling pattern has emerged after a string of U.S. scientists have died or went missing in recent months. Retired General William Neil McCasland and NASA aerospace engineer Monica Reza were both major figures in the Air Force Research Laboratory and are now missing. They have both mysteriously vanished without a trace while allegedly hiking in the southwest United States. All right, and then we have Nuno Luririo, who was assassinated at his home in a Boston suburb, December 15th, 2025. He was shot allegedly, by that guy who went after that university. He started a school shooting and then came for this guy. So weird. And then another one. A guy named Carl Grillmar was killed by a gunshot wound while on his porch. And the scientist had allegedly been studying exoplanets and dark matter at the California Institute of Technology. And then another guy, a 45-year-old named Jason Thomas, who was discovered March 17th in a lake in Wakefield, Massachusetts. Thomas had been the assistant director of chemical biology at Novartis, a global pharmaceutical company. What is going on here? Why are these people dying? Alien.gov comes out. People start dying. All right, and I don't see many people trying to cover these facts I just said about these smarty pantsies going missing, dying, getting shot to fuck. All right, and hearing about this, I swear, it's just as troubling as the Epstein stuff, okay? And you look at what's happening. The same playbook is used for the aliens as it is for Epstein. All right, and it means something. I go on about the occult. I do. I wonder what it's all about. Yeah, next week I'll cover weaponized. Maybe get into more details about these people getting murdered. Hopefully, if my technology lasts, this camera, computer, microphone, they're all burning, suffering. I could really use some ancient Sumerian tech at this point. And I'll try and do a deep dive, get some real work going. I talk about the fucking insane intel agency occult, but perhaps I should really figure out what the fuck I'm talking about. And there are people doing the work, right? I talk about, for the last few episodes, I've been talking about how Congress is our only hope, and we have to have representatives, fighting for this shit. And you really wonder, if they got the stuff, right? We have some of them out there doing their job, trying their best. Check out the Weaponized podcast to see who's on the team. But the rest of these guys, they say like 90% of Congress is fucking bought and paid for. And I'd like to focus on one of these particularly lovely representatives, and he's running for California governor. It's Eric Swalwell. Erica Kirk Swalwell. Eric Swalwell. Swalwell. Eric. Yeah, man. I've been seeing tons of his ads. And, I'll tell you the truth. Here in California, the ad buys for the California governor's race have taken fucking place. All right, Tom Steyer's got a bunch of ads, that San Jose shithead. And, of course, my favorite, Eric Swalwell, the House member just drunk on Chinese spy pussy juice. All right, check out this screenshot I got of an ad he ran. And, this Eric Swalwell, he's on a hot ad run. All right, he's doing it on HBO Max, funded by fucking some super PAC. And the commercial, it's so embarrassing. They refuse to put it anywhere except, this fucking closed circuit. Don't even know how many people fucking subscribe to HBO Max. It's sad, all right? And I'm not allowed to screen record HBO, actually. I tried to do it. I recorded it with my phone, and it's obviously a terrible picture. My fan was on, so it was horrible audio. This is why I've done what I've done. But the big line Eric is going with, the big line that is, trying to resonate with the people with, he says, Eric Swalwell, the fighter billionaires can't buy. Yeah, that's Eric's line. Yeah, Eric Swalwell, you can't buy him because he's already bought. Can't buy something that's bought. Guy's been in Congress 10 fucking years. Billionaires don't need to buy him. He actually genuinely believes all the same things they do now. All right, this fucking vacuum swallows well. This district attorney living in the house, fucked a Chinese spy, and now this guy thinks he can run the fourth largest economy in the world. Crazy. Be my guy? Be my leader? Whew. Ooh, that's crazy. Can I show you a recent clip of this fucking guy? And, dude, this clip gives me the fucking ick. Eric, ugh.
Abolish ICE.
TikTok or Instagram?
Instagram.
Medicare for all or keep health insurance as it is?
Medicare for all who want it.
Anthropic or OpenAI?
I like Anthropic, the courage and doing the right thing that they recently demonstrated.
How much should billionaires be taxed?
Look, I support a corporate accountability tax. Anyone who has the longest distance between what they make at their company and what the heart and soul makes, they're going to pay more taxes.
Some of your opponents complain that you've missed too many votes here. Why are you missing votes?
Yeah, well, my mom passed at the end. I was with her. I regret that I had to leave the grieving with my family as soon as I did, but I've shown up when it matters.
2028, Gavin Newsom or Josh Shapiro?
I got a lot of friends in that race. Look, no one in any state is better protected by their governor than Californians from Gavin Newsom. Let's just have a democracy in 2028.
Waymo or high-speed rail?
Oh. We need Waymo, high-speed rail. Is that like a Hillary Clinton Pokemon go to the polls?
Pokemon go to the polls.
Wow. You want to vote for him now? This fucking moron. Just staring at the camera. This fucking dorked up cunt. All right. Hey, Eric, look at the camera like a fucking man. All right. Look at it like a man. Jesus, I swear with these he's so stiff, man. When these people come up trying to, represent us, I swear, please, these guys, they cannot be so devoid of personality that I feel like someone's going to input into them immediately. Okay, I don't want them to have as much personality as Trump. Definitely not that much. But at least a type of guy where, if I were to go offer him some Chinese puss, he'd at least have the life experience to say no. And sure, yeah, a guy like Trump, he can't say no. He can't say no to more life experiences. Explains why he has so much in the first place. This guy stuck seeking it out. But I swear, that's probably preferable. I think it's been proven to be preferable than someone like Eric, who, I feel like where this nerd, this fucking nerd or complete retard, I can't tell actually. I'm sure he's some kind of like Big Bang Theory mix-up. You go and you offer Eric some Chinese puss, and this guy, he's going to fold. He's just going to do it. He already did it. This guy, man, I swear, he hasn't gotten any puss since his dad bought him a prostitute. All right, since he drugged some slut at the fucking frat house. And you can offer him anything. You go and you offer Eric a ride on a private jet, and he'll go, okie dokie. Sounds like fun. Who's on the plane? I don't even care. This is Eric. He's the whole problem with politics, before Trump came out. Okay, politics. They're just giving us the stiffs. It's giving us this stiff after stiff. So boring. All right, and it makes sense when you realize they were shills the whole time. But, Trump comes along and, this whole thing has been blown the fuck up, man. Trump, what does he go? He goes and he tells the Japanese, he's with the Japanese prime minister, saying how he surprised attack Iran. And then he looks to the Japanese lady and goes, they know how to surprise somebody. Literally says the words Pearl Harbor. I mean, this guy, 12 years of Trump, still giving us gems. And it is preferable because, the only gem Eric can give us is the one he's squeezing inside of his asshole right now. Yeah, man. So hard to, ask these politicians of anything when, I'm going crazy here saying if you get involved in politics, you're dealing with some fucking crazy occultic, interdimensional, fucking all-powerful entities. It's tough, man. And even as a human being, all right, if you want to become a politician, if we've decided all politicians are not just reptilians, and we're going to consider them human, you got to have a lot of empathy for it. I mean, because as a person, right, you're just there trying to be honest, trying to create real connections with others, and then you just see people passing you by, people you need, all right, and they just pass you by, and you drown in the loneliness, all right? You spend your whole time trying to fucking get people to like you, and maybe you get people to like you, but then you have to meet more people, and it's just, you spend all this time looking at others, just going, not right for me. Why don't they like me? And eventually, right, you just start thinking nothing is right for you. You start, feels like you're waiting for something that'll never come. And then they get the power, and this feeling that they have, it just overwhelms them, and their fucking mind breaks, and eventually just become this weird fucking mongrel, this fucking bastard. And the only thing you can do is just try and defend yourself. I mean, all these guys with the narcissism, and, maybe they're reptilians, and they can be narcissistic if they're reptilians, but if they're not and they're just people, it looks pretty bad, man. Trump, he's going out there, he just thinks the whole war is about him. Just the whole war is about me. If people like me, if people don't like me, Joe Kent, you don't like me. We gotta like me to like what I do. And they just treat every fucking, big decision like it's a personal favor or disservice. I swear, Bibi, he's out there. I feel like he's just trying to avoid jail, right? Isn't he just trying to avoid jail? I mean, he gave his fucking wife too many cigars. So he gave her too much champagne, and they wanted to put him in jail. All right, and then what happens, huh? Instead of going to jail, what happens? He lessens the security on the border of the country that he runs right before militants that he paid and put in power, and then stoked tensions with for about a decade. We're right about to launch a surprise attack. Instead of jail, he decided to make sure the military took 7 hours to respond so he wouldn't have to fucking spend 7 years in jail. On what particular day? The 7th? Yeah, fucking. This is the real line that got Charlie blown away, by the way. Someone who went to the possible fucking apartheid ethno-state, and he just looked at the, what happened that day. On what day? You know what day. And he just said, he said it's obvious that in that fucking militarized country, someone had to chip away at the defense intentionally. All right. And in fact, they have hearings all the time about it in Israel. Okay. They have fucking hearings all the time about, how bad and weirdly Bibi fucked up. Okay. I swear, this guy who's like hell-bent on defending his nation, I truly believe was willing to let it be destroyed so he wouldn't have to go to jail. Maybe everything he's doing today is to stay out of jail. Fucking Bibi. He just wants revenge for his brother dying fucking 30 years ago, okay? Yeah, it's either some fucking insane occultic interpretation or he just wants revenge for his brother, which, I get. My sister died because of the healthcare industry. So, I get the feeling of revenge. But honestly, I shouldn't be talking about this. Honestly, I shouldn't be saying any of this at all because when people do say things like this, I fucking, might have to, I might get traked. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And God knows, they might not even send an assassin to me. They might fucking send a missile. All right. I got to show you this video. I mean, you've seen it, but I'm going to bring it up just to illustrate my fucking point here. All right. They will kill me. Here's proof. Look, they will send a fucking missile at you for talking. All right? They will kill people for talking. And I'm worried. All right? I know. I'm not even an effective communicator, really. I don't even say things with any proof or validation or audience. So, but I understand the eventuality and the possibility of them fucking killing me for talking. Really, I can see why life is, seems so shallow, and how people, seem like they don't really care about what's going on. Because, look, man, you try and go to the important place and talk about the important thing. They'll fucking kill you. So, okay, kill me. This podcast is a type of suicide. So embarrassing, but thank you for being here. That's it. That was the pod. I appreciate it. Like it, watch it all the way through. Give it to me. Tell me what's wrong. A lot of things. Did I edit it right today? Probably not. Making a lot of cuts. Doing it here by myself. What do you want? My Dalmatian has been a wonderful company for me. Check out my Instagram if you want to see my Dalmatian. March 27th. I'm doing a show, big show. It's in 2 days. This is probably going to come out tomorrow. Recorded on the 24th. Show's in a fucking day or two. And there will be security. There will be so much security. So much security that you don't even know what to do with it. It wouldn't even be a good time to attack. Wouldn't even be good. Get me while I'm leaving. Make sure no one else gets hurt. Okay?